This is Ray Flores for the Boxing Channel, getting ready for Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez this Saturday from the T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, alongside Hall of Fame referee. The man knows boxing like you wouldn't believe. Joe Cortez joining us. Joe, always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, thank you.
Joe, now Kenny Bayless will be the referee, the third man inside the squared circle. When you have done big prize fights, what goes through your mind? Is there any preparation that a referee can do to get set for their matchup?
Absolutely. Well, Kenny Bayless, you well know, is a top-notch referee, world-class referee, who's been involved in over 70 world championship fights. And Kenny's been under pressure many times, so that's one thing that he got going for him. He has the experience, and one thing he does is he studies the fighter's style, which he has done with Canelo Alvarez in the past. And he has not refereed Gennady Golovkin, but he has watched him, and I'm sure he'll sit down to watch his style. He's been watching his style already on YouTube to see what kind of a fighter. They're both clean fighters. Not going to have any issues with that. So a lot of preparation comes into this fight by the referee. He knows what he's got to do. These fighters are not fighters that are going to be holding. They're not fighters that are coming with their heads. They're both clean fighters, no low blows, no excessive holding, none of that. I don't see any problem with the referee in this fight. The only thing the referee got to be very much aware of is if a fighter gets hurt. Now, both of these fighters are good punchers, especially Gennady Golovkin, who's a full-fledged middleweight. He's definitely a good knockout artist. He's knocked out like 95% of his fighters. So you know he can punch. Canelo has a good knockout ratio as well. But the referee has to look out in case a fighter gets taking some unnecessary punishment, gets hurt, gets wobbled, gets dropped. That's when the referee got to pay close attention. But we don't want any black eyes in boxing, and we got to stop the fight. A punch, I'd rather stop it a punch too soon than a punch too late.
Now, during this particular fight, like when you get ready for prize fights, Joe, when you were refereeing, was there any specific ritual that you went ahead and did or anything like that? I mean, what do you think Kenny Bayless is going through his mind as he gets set for this colossal matchup?
Well, he knows that this is probably one of the best fights in the last 20 years, especially in the middleweight division. Obviously, what's going through his mind right now is that he's got to make sure he makes no flaws. You got to be 150% in that ring because you're under a microscope as a referee, especially at this kind of fight of this magnitude. Anything that goes wrong there, Kenny cannot afford to be criticized for any awkward type of performance, and we know that Kenny's always been flawless in all his work. And he just trains, and I'm sure in his mind he's preparing himself mentally how the fight is going to come out. He makes sure he gets the rules, the right rules that they understand in the dressing room prior to the fight. That's where you take control back in the dressing room, give them the rules, make sure they abide by the unified rules. And this way, but I don't see nothing other than any rituals that Kenny does. He just like I was. He was one of my students. I worked with for so many years as a referee. He did such a great job. And Richard Steele helped him a lot. I helped him on the other side. It was just so much. And Kenny turned out to be one of our better referees. And I know that he's going to do a great job Saturday night.
How does that make you feel? I mean, knowing that you have helped these guys out from the very inception, and now you're witnessing them on a stage that you would constantly frequent.
Well, that's the way I planned it. I planned to, when it was in my boxing years, I said I want to try to get myself in a position that when I get ready to retire, I'm going to have the younger referees, I'm going to start developing their talent, which I did. Started working with Russell Mora, Kenny Bayless, Tony Weeks, Benji Estevez, Mark Nelson, all these referees around the country. I was trying to always help so they could raise the bar. When I saw that they were raising the bar, that they were there doing a great job, that's when I decided it's time for me to pack it in.
Was it hard for you to leave?
No, it was a cushion for me. These guys were my cushion. When I stepped down, it didn't hurt so much because I know we left boxing in good hands.
Well, now, Joe, you are on ESPN Deportes. You do a wonderful job. We always see you at the big fights here in Las Vegas and around the country. You also work with Sean Porter as well. But how has your life been after being a referee? Because now we see you seem very happy. You were happy as a referee, but even more so working with guys like Sean Porter. I know that you did some stuff with Conor McGregor. We saw you as the referee during that sparring session with him and Paulie Malignaggi. But, you're constantly involved in things.
Yes, I like staying involved. I mean, I can't let myself get old by sitting around and just sit down in a rocking chair. My thing is, I don't let grass grow under my feet. I'm always moving, making sure I stay in good shape, keep in the game because I don't miss refereeing, but I don't want to step out of boxing altogether. I want to stay in the mix. I enjoy doing that.
Now let's talk about Saturday night with Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez. I mean, this is a big matchup, one of the biggest fights in 20 years, as you mentioned. But what are you expecting to see out of both men for Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez?
Gennady Golovkin, is, if you well know, is undefeated with 35 fights under his belt. He's a hell of a puncher. He's a decent boxer. Canelo Alvarez, 27-year-old, has 49 fights with 1 loss. And he has a great knockout ratio. And I believe that they're going to be an interesting fight. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about is Canelo is coming up to the middleweight division. And he's fought there before, but Gennady Golovkin's been a middleweight for so many years. And now you're going up. He's stepping. I mean, Canelo Alvarez was fighting Amir Khan.
Liam Smith, and then fought Chavez Jr., who seemed weight drained.
Yeah. So, he wasn't under the pressure that this guy has. I mean, Gennady Golovkin is a very powerful, full-fledged middleweight. He's probably going to come in. He'll make the 160 Friday night for the weigh-in, but Saturday night he's probably going to come in 10 or 15 pounds heavier. So he'll come in like a light heavyweight. A light heavyweight coming in with Canelo, he'll probably come in about 165, 168 the night of the fight. So it's a big difference. Now, can he take that power from Golovkin? Now, he does have great ring generalship. He had good defense. He had good ring mechanics. He can move. He's quicker. So it's going to be the type of fight. It's going to be kind of a toss-up, but it's going to be a fight that's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be any knockdown. I don't think it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be maybe a good, close decision.
Excellent. Well, Joe, thank you very much for your analysis. Wonderful. Always seeing you here at the big fights in Las Vegas, and enjoy Saturday night.
You keep up the good work, Mr. Flores.
Thank you very much. Joe Cortez, the Hall of Fame referee, joining us here on the Boxing Channel.